Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday, October 28th, 2020 meeting of the East Long Meadow Conservation Commission. At this time, I need to ask if anybody in the viewing audience is recording this meeting. If so, please raise your hand and identify yourself.
Nobody's out there recording.
Okay. Hearing nothing. All right, we will move on to the first item on the agenda, which is approval of the October 14th, 2020 minutes. Those were sent out today. I'm not sure, there might have been some corrections to them, but I really haven't reviewed them. I would assume that Tony hasn't reviewed them because they were sent out today via email. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to postpone the approval of the October 14th, 2020 minutes to our next meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moving forward with the roll call vote on that. Jeff Bosworth,
Aye.
Francis,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
Anthony,
Aye.
and I am an aye vote also. Next item on the agenda would be the request for certificate of compliance for lot 23, Bella Vista. We went out and did a site visit there last Friday that we had scheduled. I was present, Jeff was present, Tony was present, and Francis was there also. We looked at things, the permanent limit of work markers were in. There didn't appear to be any work that was not in compliance, and there also is a letter in the file. Is there any comments from any other commissioners on that?
No, it looks pretty straightforward.
Yeah, everything looked okay to me.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the certificate of compliance for lot 23, Bella Vista Drive.
So moved.
So moved.
Motion made by Francis, we'll say seconded by Tony. Roll call vote. Jeff,
Aye.
Francis,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
Tony,
Aye.
and I am an aye vote also. All right, the next item on the agenda is the request for determination of applicability for 10 Bella Vista Drive. This is where the applicant sent in a request for determination to do the removal of a tree inside the buffer zone that came down in the recent, or one of the recent windstorms that we had. And again, this was looked at by the commissioners on the site visit Friday after our last meeting. The tree has been removed already, as we saw on the site visit. One of those
Right.
things that sometimes these things do happen before we actually get out there and do it. It was not technically an emergency situation, but I'll entertain comments from the commission.
Greg, point of order.
Yes, sir. Oh,
Um,
you need to read that into the record, right?
We're not to the public hearing. We have the second certificate of compliance for Bella Vista
Oh,
prior to the opening the public hearing or continuing the public hearing.
right, okay. I missed lot 24?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Moving backwards then, sorry about that. Request for certificate of compliance for lot 24, Bella Vista. Essentially the same, in my opinion, applies for lot 24 that did for lot 23. Any comments from the commissioners?
No, everything looked pretty good there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion for approval for the certificate of compliance for lot 24, Bella Vista Drive.
So moved.
Seconded.
Motion
Just
by Jeff, seconded by Francis. Yes, Jeffrey?
Just to clarify that we're on the partial certificate of compliance, we're doing under section B, page 2, where it says partial certification.
Right. And
Just so
and the
we-
reason for that is there's one notice of intent for the entire development. And we are just approving a single lot here, if I'm correct with that.
That is correct.
Yeah. Any other comments? Okay, hearing none, we'll take the roll call vote. Jeff,
Aye.
Francis,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
and Tony.
Aye.
And I am a yes vote also. And sorry about my misstep with the agenda. The next item on our agenda is the request for determination for applicability for 10 Bella Vista Drive for the removal of a tree within the buffer zone. Jeff, would you like to read this into the record?
Right, this is a continuation of the public hearing from the last meeting. Case RDA 2020-7, request for determination of applicability for 10 Bella Vista Drive, assessor's parcel ID 44-10-23 for the removal of a tree within the buffer zone on a 0.98 plus minus acre site. Applicant Carolyn, I think it's Gurnu, 10 Bella Vista Drive, East Long Meadow, Mass. 01028. Sorry if there's a mispronunciation of the last name.
And as I previously stated, the commissioners all looked at this last Friday when we did the site visit for the 2 certificates of compliance. The tree has been removed. Is there any comments from the commissioners, or if Carolyn would like to speak, she's more than welcome to. And she is in the audience, Don.
Yep, she can, you want me to bring her in?
If she would like to, yes.
Okay, yep, she got her hand up. Here she comes.
He's on mute.
You're on mute, Carolyn.
It might take her a minute.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh,
You see her message there?
yeah, we do.
So I can't control that.
oh, there she is. There she is. You there, Carolyn? Oh, okay.
Okay.
She's not able to speak to us. So.
And I guess I'll comment then while we're waiting and see if she wants to come in. From our observations, I'm going to say the tree in question that was uprooted and leaning quite a bit had been removed. I would say it was 4 to 5 feet inside the 50-foot limit of work line that we have on that phase 2 development. And it didn't appear that there was any other damage done or anything else out there from the removal of the tree. Comments from other commissioners? Yes, Francis.
Oh, I saw that the root structure of the tree was intact. It had been cut, but it didn't look as if it was uprooted. And we didn't actually see the condition of the tree, but Carolyn was kind enough to tell us that it was cracked and it was leaning to one side and looked as if it was going to fall over at any moment. So the description of what is in the RDA compared to what we saw is a little different, but obviously there must have been a threat of the tree falling over. So being an 80-foot tree, I can understand her and her husband's concern. It's just that it wasn't uprooted, but it was a clean cut and we didn't see, the tree was already down when we got
there. Jeff?
Yeah, I was a little surprised to see that the tree had already been removed, even though an RDA was filed prior to any ruling from the commission. And it's quite obvious the tree was in the wetland area. And I can understand, yeah, it was uprooted a little bit. And it was in no danger of falling, from what I could tell, into their yard as proper, more that would have gone further or stayed in the wetland. But I just a little concerned that was taken down before we even had a ruling.
I'd like to comment on that.
Excuse me, Tom and Craig. I just want to let you know, Carolyn's here by phone.
Okay.
I am.
Right.
I am here. I
Just
just,
want to
that
let you
was
know
the
that she was
problem.
at the meeting.
Yeah, they unmuted my computer, but not my phone. So that was the issue.
Oh,
Would you like to comment, Carolyn?
Not really. I mean, I'm sorry that it was already taken down. I was under I had the impression that I could take it down after the first visit that I had by another commission member.
Okay. Tom, you wanted to comment?
Yeah, so I did make a site visit, and by your observation, yes, the tree was cut flush, and it may not have appeared that it was uprooted because once I took the tree down, I pounded that stump back straight with my log truck. So when I had made the site visit, the tree was uprooted and, I don't know, at a 20 or 30 degree angle and hung into the other tree. There was approximately, I don't know, 30 feet to the left. It was hung in that tree. It was clearly uprooted, and it was a danger to both Carolyn and her neighbor's yard who have little kids.
Okay.
So I told her it was an emergency situation, that she's going to file an RDA after the fact and to get estimates. So she reached out, got estimates. I had ended up bidding it. And when I did it, I brought a crane in and we had to extract it out of the other tree as it was physically hung in the other tree. So after we took it down, extracted it, without even going in the wetlands, I took my log truck, I reached over and I slammed that stump down so it would stabilize the ground. Yes, I did not ask her to get an emergency permit, but that was my mistake. I know better now, as it came up in our last meeting.
Okay, thank you. Tony, did you have a comment?
Nope,
Okay,
I'm all set.
all right. So moving forward, I have no further comments, so I will entertain a motion for, gosh, I don't have it in front of me. A negative determination, I believe it would be a -2, no, -3, that the work is being done in a resource area, but will not have an effect on the resource area.
if you give me a second, I'll have the form up.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
Thank you.
I believe it's a -3.
I think -3 is if you want to list any conditions along
Any
with.
comments? Okay, so -2 works, Bethany?
Yep.
Make a motion that we give an RDA with a -2 determination.
So moved.
Seconded.
That was a second. That was a second by Tony.
Oh,
Tom,
okay. Tom made the motion. Okay.
Tom made the motion and Tony seconded it.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any further discussion before we go to a vote on this? Hearing none. Jeffrey,
Aye.
Francis,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
Tony,
Aye.
and I am an I vote also. Okay, good luck. Thank you for filing, Karen. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All righty. The next item on our agenda is a notice of intent for Lot 5, 40 Pondview Drive. Jeff, if you would be so kind as to read it into the record.
This is a new public hearing for NOI 2020-6, notice of intent for Lot 5, 40 Pondview Drive, Assessor's Parcel ID 58-1-5 for the construction of a single-family home within the 100-foot buffer zone on a 3.71 plus minus acre site. Applicants Joseph Leone and Sierra Leone, 45 Winterset Drive, Springfield, Mass. 01129.
Thank you. First, I would ask, I do not see the Leones out there. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on behalf of the Leones?
Yeah, you got two there.
Sure, pick one.
I can bring them both in if you want.
Sure.
Hello. Hi. This is Annie Brosini with R. Levesque Associates. I will be proposing the construction of the single-family home with the associated site improvements that are located within the 100-foot buffer zone to Upper Farm Pond. So with all the proposed work, the only work that is located within the 100-foot buffer zone to Upper Farm Pond is the site grading. This notice of intent was previously filed and approved by the conservation. Although that notice of intent has expired, we have filed a certificate of compliance to continue the proposed work. And here we are filing another notice of intent for the proposed work. Nothing has changed from the previous notice of intent to this one right now for the construction of the single family home.
Thank you, Annie.
Mhm.
Was there another person? Well, actually, we have it is open for comments for the public. At this time, we went out there and did a site visit on this also Friday after our last meeting. It was inspected by the commissioner, so at this time, I would like to open it up to the public for comments. With that, Joe, that's out there, would you like to speak?
It's Joe and Sierra Leone. No, we don't have anything to say. We're just listening in. Thank
Oh,
you.
okay.
Okay.
We're learning how this Zoom works.
Who isn't?
Yeah.
Don, do you see that there is any members of the public that wish to comment on this out there?
I do not see any hands up, Craig, so nope.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, I guess before we bring it back to the board for the discussion, I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote. Jeff?
Aye.
Francis?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Tony?
Aye.
And I am a yes vote also. Bringing it back to the commission for deliberation. Does anyone wish to comment?
People are still with us. Is that okay?
Yeah, I mean, I would remove them as after you vote.
We just
Basically,
closed the public meeting. I don't know what.
yeah, they can still listen though,
Yeah.
Francis.
Okay, thank you.
They just can't comment.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I got confused.
That's okay. Basically, it looked like the erosion controls were in place. They'd been moved closer in away from the wetlands where the remnants of the old ones were. So, and as the homeowner said, in the spring, they'll be seeding after some additional work's done to kind of stabilize that area. So I think it's good.
Francis or Tony?
No, I'm all set.
Yeah, me too. I agree with what Jeff said, and the markers were well done. Everything was fine.
And I made some comments that were put on the project monitoring sheet. And I'm pretty much in favor of approving the notice of intent, but what I think we need to do, the erosion controls were pretty good. They definitely were. The new ones that were installed by the contractor were a little bit outside the previous ones. So the area of the buffer zone got, the no work zone got a little bit bigger there. But I think we should note in an order of conditions that the erosion controls should be stabilized before the winter, because there was a couple areas that they were a little bit damaged in. And they should just be cleaned up to make sure they're all set and ready to survive a winter with a bit of a snow load and any winter storms that we might get. So I think we should just include that in our order of conditions. And one of the other things I think we should maybe add in the order of conditions that, you know, upon completion, a certificate of compliance is required to be filed. It is kind of an assumed item as a part of filing your notice of intent, but this has been an ongoing issue with this, and perhaps it's a little redundant, but at least if it's mentioned in another location, I don't think it would hurt.
I agree with that.
You know? Is there any other, Tony?
No, I agree. I agree with you.
Okay. Okay, if there's no further comments, I will entertain a motion to approve the notice of intent for Lot 5 on Pondview Drive.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, another roll call vote. Jeffrey,
Aye.
Francis,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
Tony,
Aye.
and I am a yes vote also. Congratulations, Joe and Sierra. Good luck. It's a beautiful house.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Whew. All righty. Next item on our agenda is project monitoring. I didn't print out the latest revision to the agenda, but if somebody could help me, what was the first project that was listed?
Avery Street was on there again.
Yeah, 41 Avery Street. I did stop by there this week too. I was driving right nearby. I knocked on the door, no one was there. I sent in a couple pictures and sent a comment in. And Bethany did update the project monitoring spreadsheet. And so I guess, you know, we'll just wait to see what they say and if they do anything. Next one was Robin Street, I believe.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah. I went by there also, and nothing is really happening except a lot of weeds are growing. And well, and the actually, as we requested, Mr. Capua did improve the erosion controls in the back right corner and extended them, and they're actually extended out farther than they showed on the plan. So, and the erosion controls there do look in very good shape for the winter.
Oh, that's good.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm worried about that.
There was one other one on there, I believe.
Hidden ponds.
Hidden ponds. Well, where do we want to start?
Craig, I do have something to note. This afternoon, Alice Widmore did call and make a complaint about water runoff. Basically, this similar complaints to what we've heard in the past, I did reach out to Al Joyce and ask him to call her as he is the property owner. And he sent me an email saying that he had reached out to her that afternoon and planned a visit to her house to further discuss the issue with her tomorrow.
That conversation, it was confirmed to me by Alice Woodmer today, but thank you, Bethany.
Okay, great.
Yeah, she called me a few days ago when it was raining and water was discharging from the basin. And she also called me today regarding this. And yes, she did tell me she was meeting with Al tomorrow. But what she was telling me today was this tree that's right back there, just outside the, on her side of the fence, right near where the outflow of the basin is. She says there's always water around there now, and it never used to be like that. And based on that, and I was out there a couple weeks ago, I think it was before the last meeting when we discussed this. In my opinion, it shouldn't be there. Because right now, if you look on the state map, we are actually in a severe drought. You know, and Alice told me today that there was water flowing out of that basin, and we didn't get much rain at all today. I'd be surprised if we got an inch of rain. I didn't look it up. And then we also had the stormwater management report that came out a couple weeks ago that we got at the meeting, and I've spent some time studying it. I'm definitely not an engineer, and I need some clarification on some items in it. And so I'm just, you know, thinking what's the best way for us to proceed. I know we had Tom Christensen mention a few things at our last meeting. One of my thoughts was to ask Tom and Bruce to come into our next meeting and actually, you know, explain the details of this stormwater report. Because, and I definitely could be wrong, and what's in there for calculations also, and it was what Mark Stinson said at the meeting, that is all post-construction calculations. But based on my observations, and I think other commissioners in our site visits, it doesn't appear to me that there is a lot of water going into that basin due to the construction from lots on each side of it. There isn't a lot of slope on either side, and it doesn't appear to me that the amount of water coming in from the non-paved areas is really going to change much when it comes to post-construction. The majority of the water is coming off the street. Perhaps there might be a little bit less water coming in off the street after driveways are done, but it's hard for me to say. But I really am concerned that pretty much every time it rains, water is flowing out of that basin. And obviously, as we've stated in the past, that there's been clay-filled water going into that basin for a year and a half now, which definitely wasn't supposed to happen. So that was one of my ideas, is to have the DPW come in, you know, or, you know, perhaps we could look at, you know, having an outside engineer do a peer type review on this.
Craig, we could also see if Al Joyce would be able to get someone from our Levesque Associates to come in, since they, you know, issued the stormwater report. They might be able to speak or explain a little bit more on the workings of that.
I think that's a great idea.
Through the chair, that was one of my thoughts on it, since our Levesque Associates did design this and come up with a stormwater report. Maybe it would be best for them to kind of give us an explanation of how it's supposed to be working.
Tony, did you want to comment?
No, I was just remembering when Tom was there. Didn't he say that the problem should be solved once the ground is stabilized with grass and whatnot? That's going to be like that for a while, but it wouldn't be any problem?
I don't recall that Francis?
Okay.
Yeah, there were two things at our last meeting. Mark Stinson said there's a pre-construction erosion or during construction erosion control system, and then there's one post-construction. And what's out there now seems to be adequate for post-construction, but during construction, it's giving problems. So I would definitely like to ask some questions to our Levesque, you know, whoever they send as their representative, about, you know, whether in fact it will be okay afterward. The people living at the bottom of the hill, like Alice, you know, can their property withstand the weight until everything is finished and the grass is seeded for the slope areas? Question mark. I'm not saying we need to answer that. But I had another question while I have the floor. Should a member of the commission or two go there when Al and Alice are meeting so that we can know what's going on or we can see what's going on? Is that something I could go if it's tomorrow, but I would have to know what time. Is that advisable? Number one, that's my question.
I think it's a great idea. I do not know the time of the meeting. Bethany, do you?
I don't have the time, but I do have Alice's number. So Francis, I could email that to you if you'd like.
Okay, thank you. And if there's another member who might like to go, that would be great. If anyone else is available, I can email the time out to anyone who's interested.
Yeah. I definitely can't make it during the day. I know
Jeff has his hand up. Are you interested, Jeff?
I could, knowing the time, I could probably make that.
All right, I'll send that to you when I get it from Bethany. Thank you.
Tony, are you interested?
Sure. Give me a call.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Tom, do you want to attend? Any chance you can make it?
Yeah, I would just like to say that, yeah, Tom Christensen did say that. The post-construction, once the grass is grown, that it won't be an issue anymore. This is a site with non-permeable soils.
Right.
So the water that is currently flowing through Alice's is the same water that would have flowed through prior to this development being built. So what you have during construction, you have non-permeable soils. The water's flowing over the top. You've got the impervious surfaces with the pavement, and then it's going into the pond. So like Tom had said, once the grass is there and it's absorbing that water and filtering it, then that thing will work as designed. And that is a design that we did approve as a commission. And I'm sure that when this site is complete, it will function as designed and as approved. Personally, if I can make the meeting, I will. I really don't see any issues. The water is what the water is, and once the site is stabilized, the pond will work as designed.
Tony?
Yeah, I got to agree with Tom. I think that's what he had said at the last meeting, Tom, that once that ground is stabilized, the grass is growing, I think that problem will go away.
All right, if I
I'm
can comment,
hoping.
the design of the basin and the approval of the design of the basin was not approved by the commission. That was approved by the planning board and the DPW. We did not approve the design of that basin. That's out of our jurisdiction right now as far as approving that. And my big concern about it, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I am. Red clay has been flowing in there for over a year and a half. It's not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And what we have heard in the comments from the DPW is that, well, if it's not functioning properly when it gets time to be turned over to the town, which would be after 20 houses are in and the development is completed, they'll have it fixed. They'll have the applicant fix the basin. And I struggle with how that is physically possible when there's 20 homes in there and the diversion of that much stormwater is required. But so that's my last comment on that. And I guess I look forward to having a representative from Arlevesque at a meeting to discuss this.
To the chair, I have one more question.
Please.
When Alice Widmer first came to us, she said and I'm going to ask her again when I go out there tomorrow, but she said that there wasn't water flowing onto her property before because there were so many trees. I'm sure they were holding some of that water in, even though the soil is impervious. But if it's okay with the commission, I'll ask her a few questions and report back at our next meeting. And I'd like to see her property too, see what you've seen it. And so maybe we can walk over and see her property.
If I may comment about that, there was water flowing onto her property before.
Oh, there was, okay.
The difference is the water that was flowing onto her property before was spread out over her entire property line.
Oh, okay. And
what we
it
have
wasn't
now,
red, was it? It wasn't red.
Now we have the majority of the water coming out from a point discharge in that back northwest corner of the basin, I would say it is.
Yes.
At the outflow on the basin. So you have a point source discharge as opposed to it being dispersed out over the entire length of her property line.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for the clarification.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, next on project monitoring, I had one more and then I'll open up to the rest of the commission. John Hansel contacted me last Friday night when we were out doing the site visits regarding 81 Avery Street and the concerns of a homeowner out there that a tree actually fell on her house and that sort of thing. This was something that Jeff, Tony, and I were actually out on a site visit. I think it was in April, Jeff, or so, and we did actually send a letter. Susan, is the homeowner, actually thought it was more of a form letter, didn't act upon it. And so I spoke with her and instructed her about filing an RDA and told her to look on the website. But Bethany, if you could, look up that letter that went out for 81 Avery Street in April or May, I believe it was. Jeff, you can comment too, and if we could resend that to her.
Yeah, it had to be early because there were no leaves on the trees at that time.
And this was for an RDA? Sorry, I'm just trying to remember.
Yeah, we were asking her to file an RDA.
Okay.
Yeah, she had called in and said a branch had broken off a tree and there was a tree that was, she was afraid was going to fall on her house. That's the new house that John Hansel had built, which she bought last September, a year ago, September.
Okay, gotcha.
And we went out there and did a site visit and we requested that she file an RTA. And she never followed through on that.
Did anybody else have anything for project monitoring?
I have again, it's sort of a question because it concerns Brownstone Gardens and I know that I have to recuse myself for that. But I just wondered if the commission will be project monitoring that. Will that be followed up at our next meeting? Can it be on the agenda?
Sure, to the best of my knowledge, nothing has happened there so far. Is that correct?
Yes, nothing has happened.
Yeah. I guess we could look at the file and perhaps reach out. Bethany, if you could maybe send a letter and ask what their plans are, if they plan on doing it in the near future, because and actually, you know, right now, this time of year is a great time of year to be doing it, and as opposed to doing it in the summer.
Sure. So just ask for a general status update.
Yes, please.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Anybody else on project monitoring? Okay, I guess I do have one more. I got the sheets with the Google invite and password, and I actually got into that. And what I was, these sheets only went back to 2018, I believe. So one of the things I would be looking for is if we could get, some of the older NOIs added to this that needed follow-up. And also if we could get a column in there, Bethany, that would have a certificate of compliance date.
Sure. We also have a separate, and I'm sorry, I should have sent you both. I forgot about the other one. We have a separate one that is of all of the NOIs that have been issued by the town. So that dates back many years.
Okay.
And that might be a better one to log the certificate of compliance.
Okay. I guess then my question is, how do we access these on a regular basis?
You should be able to access them at any point. I can send out a guide, if you will, to help you get there. It should just be in your Google Drive. And once it's been shared with you, you should be able to enter any information, edit any information, and that sort of thing.
Can other commissioners have the same information, please?
We all
yes,
can.
absolutely.
Okay, because I have something, but I think it's old. I think you updated it.
Okay, yep, I'll send out what I have, and if you have any questions about how to access it, feel free to set up a time and I can walk you through it over the phone or anything like that. I'm definitely available to help.
You're trying to make us more tech savvy, aren't you?
Working on it.
It's good. We need it.
And then my other one with that is included, is it, are we still doing the call-in list, and do we have a list for RDAs?
At the moment, I haven't been. I can try to keep up with that. It's a little bit hard to keep up with so many Excel sheets and entering data. Usually I try to focus on just getting back to people during the day and within a reasonable time frame. But we have, my new assistant is starting on Monday, so I can add that to one of her lists of things to work on, and we can hopefully get some more information.
Excellent. We got a new assistant coming on. Great. Okay. Policies and procedures. Anybody else have anything under policies and procedures?
Oh, under policies and procedures or under,
Yes.
okay, because we're on project monitoring. So you're moving on to the next.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that's where I kind of did it with the sheets. That's where I moved that into the policy.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I might have missed that.
The next thing under there would be the review of the Wilbraham
Yeah.
COMCOM letter formats.
I have a point
Yeah.
of order. I haven't had time to really look into that. And so I'm not ready for any kind of discussion. Could we table it to our next meeting?
Sure. It really wasn't anything that I wasn't planning on or thinking we were going to take any action on, but we can look at it again in our next meeting. My thoughts with it were that it's just an example of showing what another community does, and the fact that it is important to get these certificates of compliance done. Obviously, what they're doing is they have a town bylaw that allows this to happen. I'm not looking for that to happen or anything right now, but sure, we can continue it to the next meeting. That would be fine.
Thank you. I'm just, because to me, I'd like to do some research about the whole idea, and then we can have a more fruitful discussion, I think.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
I guess the only other one that I had that was still in other business
I expect there will be at least a certificate of compliance coming in for the next meeting.
Okay, because I had heard from Rob Levesque and Heather Comey about a ANRAD that they were going to file. Because, and I guess before we go to executive session, which is our next item that we have on the agenda, our November meetings are scheduled for November 4th and the 18th, which was a change from the 2nd and 4th Wednesdays that we made to accommodate for the Veterans Day holiday, as well as the Thanksgiving holiday. Being that the 4th is next Wednesday, and all that we might have coming in, and we don't have it yet, we might get a certificate of compliance. I was wondering what the board thought. Do we need to have a meeting next Wednesday, or do you think we can just go to the 18th?
Craig, sorry to interrupt.
Nope, go ahead.
The next meeting is November 25th. I think you're saying November 4th is the submittal deadline, not the meeting date. And that's
That was
because
really?
there's Veterans Day.
Wow, why did I think it was the 18th? Okay, and I'll stand corrected. Then I guess my next question is, can we look at, and do we want to try and do a meeting on the 18th as opposed to the 24th, which is the day before Thanksgiving?
So Craig, you can't meet on the 18th. Well, you could meet on the 18th with the second license. The library trustees meet on the third Wednesday every month. So that 6 p.m. slot is booked for that Wednesday.
Ugh.
So if I could just, is it possible for the board members to meet on a night other than Wednesday? For example, Thursday the 12th.
I wouldn't have an issue with it, but I don't know about others, but I mean, and I guess, how does the commission feel about meeting on Wednesday before Thanksgiving?
I don't think it's a good idea.
Exactly.
I'm cooking for a small thing, but I'm still going to be trying to get ready.
What are we having?
Turkey. What else? Yeah. I love turkey.
Tony?
Yeah,
No, I thought you were speaking. I was wondering if you had a comment.
no,
Tom?
Yeah, I'm not in favor.
Would the 12th work for you if we needed to do that?
Are you asking all of us?
I was asking Tom
Okay.
and anybody. Jeff?
The 12th would work for me.
the 12th will work for me.
It's okay
I'm all right with the
me.
12th.
And my big thing is, I guess I'm just thinking, I don't think we should go all the way to December to have a meeting unless there's really absolutely no filings, but
Right. Yeah, I'm okay with the 12th. Tom, did you say you were okay or not? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm all right with the 12th.
Bethany, how about you?
Should be able to make that.
We need to take a vote to do that? Move our meeting?
I would take a vote, and then I'll try to update the calendar. So what we are doing is moving the November meeting from November 25th, which is a Wednesday, and we're moving it back 2 weeks to November 12th at 6 p.m., which is a Thursday evening.
All righty, what she said. No, I'll entertain a motion to reschedule our next Conservation Commission meeting from November 25th to November 12th at 6 p.m.
So moved.
Seconded.
Second,
Motion made by Jeff, seconded by Francis. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Oh, sorry, roll call vote. Jeff?
Aye.
Francis?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Tony?
Aye.
And I am a yes vote also. Bethany or any other members of the commission, did anybody have anything before we go into executive session to return to open, only to adjourn?
Craig, you do have the appointment of a commissioner to the CPC.
Oh,
Ah, thank you. Didn't have that copy of the agenda in front of me. Anthony has been reappointed to the Community Preservation Commission as a member at large. And we are supposed to have a member from Conservation on the Community Preservation Commission, or the Community Preservation Committee, which decides how they spend and how they allocate that 2 or 2.5% that shows up on the real estate tax. Tony can comment, or does anybody want to volunteer? I know Tom is already on there as a representative of the DPW. That's still correct, Tom?
Yes. If you didn't hear me, I said yes.
Yes, I did. Thank you. Tony, did you want to comment?
No,
When's the next meeting, Tony? Do you have one scheduled?
not yet, not at this time.
Okay.
Could you please, this is new to me since I wasn't here when this came up before. What does this mean? Or could you explain what it is that we're trying to do? Sorry, I didn't understand it.
The Community Preservation Committee, I believe, is supposed to be a 9-member committee. And what they do is they process applications for spending money that is in the Community Preservation Fund, which is that percentage of the real estate taxes. There is 3 different types of criteria and projects that can be accepted and reviewed. They have to meet certain criteria in order for approval. And essentially, it's like you're handing out grants in town. I would say it's a good explanation. Tom or Tony, would you like to opine a little?
Basically, like you had said, there, it's for historical, open space, recreational, and housing. And when they appear, we talk about it and then we'll vote on it. And if it's approved by the CPC, then it goes in front of the council. And then they have the final word. So in other words, like Heritage Park, recreation, if there's something historical in town and if they meet that criteria, we allocate the funds.
So we need a member of our commission to be on
Right.
the committee?
I was representing the Conservation Commission, but then when I got my letter, because I was reinstated every 3 years, they had me down at member at large.
Oh,
So I kept it at member at large because I would prefer to stay as member at large. And now what we do, we need a representative from the Historical Commission to represent us on the Community Preservation Board.
Conservation Commission.
from our commission, from the Conservation Commission.
Yes,
From the Conservation on the CPC Board.
I believe that's actually a state requirement.
I
Correct.
wouldn't mind doing it if I could. How often do they meet?
Generally, if we were busy, once a month.
Okay, if that's okay with the commission, I'll volunteer.
I'll entertain a motion to appoint Francis as our representative to the Community Preservation Committee.
So moved.
Second.
All righty. Roll call vote. Jeff?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Tony?
Aye.
Francis? I'm not sure.
She can't.
I have to not vote, right?
Yeah, and I am a yes also. Congratulations. Thank you, Francis.
Something
Thank-
more to learn.
I've got
Good.
some information. I'll give you. I have a binder of information that will help you a little bit.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you
for volunteering,
reminding us of
Francis.
that, Bethany.
You're welcome.
No. Next, and did anybody have anything else then that I might have missed
Well-
before we go to executive session?
Craig, have Bethany submit that to Mary, our town manager.
Yep, the appointment of Francis.
Yes.
Yep, got it. And I just wanted to take another moment to officially welcome Elizabeth to the Conservation Commission. She's our newest member, and her first voting meeting will be the November 12th.
Okay. Welcome, Elizabeth. Look forward to
Yeah.
getting to know you and serving with you.
Thank you.
Welcome, Elizabeth.
Thanks.
Nice to have you.
Good to be here.
All right. All right. I guess we will move to executive session only to return to open to adjourn.
So Craig, let me just clarify to be sure, there will be nothing on which you would have to have an open session vote at the end of the meeting.
Correct.
All right, so I can basically, as far as I'm concerned, well, I can't end the meeting because you need the Zoom, but I will stop the recording. I need a way without participating or witnessing executive to know when you're done.
What we had at the last meeting done was we had the audio recording was done.
Right, but I still need, I guess I'll need to know when to stop, I guess. If Bethany can just text me.
Yep, I'll let you know. Could you bring Jesse into the meeting first, please?
Oh, absolutely, good idea.
And will Elizabeth have to exit at this point?
Yes.
Yep.
See you, Elizabeth.
Thank you,
Hi,
guys.
Elizabeth.
See you in November.
Will do. Thank you.
All right, so you got to vote first to go into executive with the roll call and everything, and then I'll stop.
Okay. I'll entertain a vote to move into executive session to discuss matters pertaining to the commission.
So moved.
Second.
All righty. Jeff,
Aye.
Francis,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
Tony.
Aye.
I'm a yes vote also.